saw you on the live stream
with
Casanat, and your son, Yoshan, started crying and getting emotional. And you were there for him and consoled him in that moment and let him know it's okay to be emotional.
And that's not how I was raised. My dad used to tell me, shake that shit out.
Right.
Like, well, shake it out.
Fix your face.
Right.
That's what it used to be.
Well, yeah,
Fix your face.
Crying for, like, my daddy wasn't telling me it's okay to cry. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm showing my son. You feel me? Like my dad used to tell me when I was a kid, like, man, I'll kill you. Like, he used to tell me this shit when I was like 5 years old. He like, man, if I catch you doing drugs, if I catch you on the corner, I'm gonna walk up and blow your shit out. And that shit scared the fuck out of me when I was a kid.
A wise man once said, you can't heal what you don't reveal. From the stigma around mental health, to the lack of cultural, competent care, to economic pressures, Black men face a unique set of challenges rooted in inequities. Today, we are dropping that stigma and talking about it. I'm your host, Brian McIntosh. In our latest episode of For the Fellas, we are diving deep into trauma and healing. And helping me with that, I have some fellas that have broken barriers and their silence around something that is usually taboo in our community. First up, we got one of Chi-Town's brightest stars. He's a platinum recording artist, a dedicated father, and showed the world he is one of hip-hop's strongest advocates for mental health with his 2020 entitled album, PTSD, the one and only Herbo. My God, man, we appreciate you being here. Next up, we got a man who's lived it, studied it, and most importantly, is doing the work to help us all heal. He's a licensed mental health therapist, a devoted father and husband, and influencer. Let's give it up for Kier Gaines. My God,
brother.
Absolutely, man. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Man.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, our last guest is no stranger to your TV screens. We'll break out roles on How to Get Away with Murder, and most recently, being Frank Lucas in The Godfather of Harlem. He's a father, artist, and Emmy Award-winning actor, and continues to break barriers. It's an honor to welcome Flynn. My God, man, we appreciate all y'all being here, man. This is a big deal for us. So on For the Fellas, we talk about everything, man, from love to trauma, you name it. But first things first, man, before we get into this conversation, I want to read off a stat for you guys. In 2022, suicide was the third leading cause for death for Black males between the ages of 10 to 24. And according to one study, 5 to 10% of Black men are suffering from depression. Kier, I know you've been a mental health therapist now since 2019, I believe it was. You're always kind of advocating for Black men to seek, help when it comes to the mental health and therapy. Why do you feel like, for Black people in general, we're always scared to seek that?
Man, it's multifactorial, man. There's so many things in that. Let's just start with Black people. With Black people, there's a historic mistrust of medical systems. You don't know if you go and see a therapist and you tell them that I've been having some thoughts where I don't feel too good, I feel like I may harm myself. You don't know if you'll be institutionalized. You don't know if there'll be a stigma put on your name. You don't know what's gonna happen after. For Black men, it's a little different. I can only speak to my experience. And the funny thing is, when I was in grad school trying to become a therapist, I realized once I graduated, I've never seen a therapy session outside the one that I was in. A lot of people, they don't get to see therapy in action. They don't know the way it looks. They don't know the way it works. They don't know what's gonna be expected of them. And Black men have a history of just challenges around vulnerability, self-expression, emotional expression. Our environment don't always invite us to be that. So you mean to tell me, I don't know the way this joint looks, I'm gonna walk into this office, I'm gonna talk to this stranger about things that I carry deep inside, some I notice in myself, some I don't. I'm gonna tell them all this stuff, I'm gonna tell them all my secrets, and just gonna trust that they're not gonna make me feel worse about it? I feel like that's a big ask. If you don't know what is gonna happen in therapy, you don't know what it looks like, you don't know what to expect. And it's natural to be afraid of something when you don't know what it is. So when men come in, they think that if you tell me something, I'm gonna get on you, I'm gonna, harp on that thing, I'm gonna interrogate you. Nah, it's a conversation. It's just like this. This is what my therapy sessions look like. Just like this, conversation between two people. But you don't know that until you experience it. So it's just it's a big gulf, the jump between where I am and realizing I need help and overcoming all those fears and challenges and barriers, and then receiving the help from a person in a voice that I can understand, a way that feels relatable, and something that's gonna actually be helpful to me. Prevents us from going to therapy a lot, which is unfortunate, because Black men thrive in therapy, bro. Thrive in therapy.
I personally has never seek therapy. I've never done it before. I find therapy in the art forms that I do, and it's weird for me because, and you probably feel the same, you don't want to touch or sort of mess with what you feel like working, even though it might be damaging you in a way. As in acting, it's like I get to live out certain emotions, circumstances that otherwise I wouldn't ever. You know, obviously making music, you get to kind of verbatim tell how you feel, and it's a therapy session in that aspect too. So it's like, if I go get therapy, will I still have this drive? Will I still feel like,
Right.
you know,
That's a good
is
point,
this,
Yeah.
you know, I feel like
Look at it like that.
it make you feel like, you know, you don't want to touch it. You know, you close to the fire a little bit, but you learn how to navigate it. And I advocate for people to do, you know, go get therapy, and, you know, maybe at some point I will, but like when you in the middle of it, and you dealing with your mental, you dealing with your emotionals like I am, you just don't want to, you don't want to mess nothing up. You know, you don't want to, you kind of have a system, and it's like, damn, I go get therapy. Maybe I come back and say, actually, I don't want to do this shit no more. It's, you know, I'm like, I don't want to feel like that, you know.
Right.
But I'm sure it's a better way to look at it after going through it, though.
Nah, absolutely. Kier, as a therapist, what's your response to that?
I think sometimes I understand what he's saying. I think that's a legitimate reason to be apprehensive about therapy. It's kind of like when you got a raggedy car and, you know, in order to start that joint, you got to knock on the steering wheel twice. You got to pump the gas 3 times. You got to start it up halfway and then turn it full. Like, the car doesn't function the way it should, but it functions this way just fine. I can get from point A to point B. And I think with men sometimes, one of the things that creates this mindset in us is sometimes we over-attribute our special gifts, our talents, our God-given purpose to the trials and tribulations we've been through. But actually, all these talents and gifts that we have are such a innate part of us. That's just who we are. And what I would challenge and say, therapy not only would, and it's dope that you get therapy and acting, because I do think that's therapeutic and a way to process those feelings. But I would challenge you to even think about, instead of what it would disrupt, what it will unlock. You know, I think a lot of times in therapy, it's one of those things like, man, hey, this door is closed. I don't know what's behind it, but I'm functioning good without it. And you know, you of course you're functioning well without it. Just like the first time you ever have a piece of beef jerky, you probably think that's amazing. But wait till you get that tomahawk steak. You know what I'm saying? It's always something bigger behind it. What therapy does with a good therapist is allows you to open that door and take out whatever's in that closet piece by piece in a way that you can manage and understand. It doesn't rob you of your gifts. It just makes you more aware and adds to your gifts. But you make an excellent point, bro. It's the unknown. That's one of the parts with therapy. You can't see yourself in it because that part is unknown.
But that comes from a place of not having anything. And when you give an opportunity to have something, you feel like it's always around the corner for you to lose it.
The other shoe going to drop.
Even though it's like I'm 10 years in, you know, wars, blah, 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 it's still like I just got here. Because you know there's more for you to do. And even for you, probably like when you making music, when you know, early on in your life, didn't really realize how it was therapeutic for you to talk about the shit you went through, you know. But, you know, maybe at some point, you know, I journey down that, man.
Whenever you ready, bro.
Yeah.
Whenever you
50,
ready,
60,
man.
70 years, man.
It's never too late. It's
I'm
never
right,
too
man.
late to engage in therapy.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah, you never too far gone, too broken, or anything. Therapy isn't a way to fix you. It's a way to help you. It's a way to help you correct. It's a way to help you be aware of and identify. We just all talked about, I grew up in DC, the same thing. I remember the first time I went to somebody's house, I'm like, y'all ain't got roaches everywhere? Like, y'all don't got people hanging out in front of your building? That's crazy. You don't know what you don't know. And that doesn't just go for being overexposed as a young man. That doesn't just go for trying to be the man of a house and being over-adultified as a teenage boy like most black boys are. It goes for being a grown man and still have to manage all these parts of your identity, the father, the husband, the co-parent, all these things is being asked to you. They pull away at you in a special way that you're not always aware of.
Right.
I think therapy helps with that.
That's 100% true. You know what I'm saying? And like, even going to the reason why people, like, why we feel as men that it's so normal, like, that the reason and emotions of what we feeling is because in the 8-block radius that we live in and all we've ever seen growing up, everybody going through the same thing.
Situation. Yep.
I got shot when I was 16. My best friend got shot when he was 16. My other friend got shot when he was 16. You feel what I'm saying? My dad got shot when he was 19, 20 years old. You feel me? Like, it's just been, it's a repeated cycle.
And I think, again, going back to like us normalizing things, I think that's passed down. A lot of people don't realize like that trauma's getting passed down from my parents, from my grandparents, you know what I'm saying? To share a personal story when it comes to my mom, like strong black women, we don't realize like how much they actually have been through. right? We always say like, oh, black men, we gotta be strong. These black women are just as strong, if not stronger. The black woman,
Stronger, I
honestly,
believe.
has gone through more stuff than we probably could ever
I
imagine.
feel stronger.
Yeah, because it's still women.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they black and they women.
Exactly.
That's a very tough intersection to traverse, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I was talking to my mom actually as we were going playing for this show, and I was like, Mom, like, was therapy even a thing for you growing up or in your adult life? She was like, no. She was like, that was never an idea for like our generation. It was never something we talked about. We thought we could do it off of church, faith, and our loved ones, and we just had to push through. It wasn't even a thought for them. The idea to think that I can push through, I get that from my mom, because I've seen her do it. When she's dealing with trauma when it comes to my dad, even with her father, she doesn't speak about her father. There's no picture of her father.
She don't say nothing about him?
She never speaks about him. She always claims he passed away when she was young. There's no pictures in the house. In my grandma's house, there was no pictures of him, right? So clearly, something happened there. But a lot of times, these black women, my mom, my grandma, they're not speaking on it. They are flipping the switch, and they are forgetting that happened. And they're taking those secrets and that trauma to the grave. That gets passed down to us thinking we can do the same thing. You go through something in life, you think you can just flip that switch and just show up to work and go get the bag. You think everything is okay, but really internally, you're carrying a load. So I can have all y'all just share any experiences that you do with feeling some trauma that you think has been passed down.
For me, I think it's the ability to actually be able to like channel my emotions. Kind of like it's a gift and a curse for me because I feel like I do have the ability to problem solve. So when I go through things and I'm like experiencing trauma or any type of adversity at all, I feel like it's cool. I got this. Like, it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, and don't get me wrong, I feel like it helps me in a way because I have the drive to never give up. I always have the drive to do the next right thing or the next thing closer to actually, you know, coming up with a solution, becoming a solution, whatever the case may be. And I got that from my father. Whereas to anything I ever went through in life, I never took the actual time to kind of heal from it in a way. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta think about it, 15, 16 years old, I was already a celebrity. I was making money, I was in the streets, and everything that was going on in my life, I felt like it was just a part of what I was supposed to have been going through. And it wasn't normal. I wasn't supposed to be experiencing this, you know what I'm saying? Although it did make me the man I am today. But I feel like one thing that, like, to answer that question, like, something that was passed down to me by my father and even my mother in a way is the ability to just feel like, all right, I could keep pushing. I'm gonna just take all this pain. I'm not gonna release it. I'm not gonna find an outlet. I'm just gonna get up and just every day just navigate through it. You know what I'm saying? And in a way, and I'm gonna be completely honest with this because the outside world may not see, like you might not know what I'm going through, but my mom see it, my girls see it, my kids see it, the people who closest to me, you know what I'm saying? Because when I'm home and I'm more comfortable, I might be vulnerable or whatever the case may be. You might, outside, I'm never gonna act off emotion. You'll never know what I'm experiencing. But I may come in and be having a bad day and then I might take it out on my girl. I might argue with her, anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't like bringing that energy around my family. You feel what I'm saying? So I do try to find ways to actually like get to the root of the problem and just release that shit. Like my girl dad, he told me some of the realest shit ever. He like, bro, I know you learned how to like mash shit and not let the world feel what you got going on. But he like, whatever you experiencing, bro, you gotta leave that shit on the front porch too. Like, don't bring it in the house. You feel what I'm saying? And when he told me that, it helped me a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I know I got it. Like, I got that from my father. Like, my whole life, my dad has always been a guy that's just like, all right, I'm gonna make it happen, no matter what it is. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? And to the point where, like, I actually seen my dad cry before, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people never seen that. Like, seeing a grown man cry, seeing his dad cry. Like, I seen my father cry. And that just let me know, like, damn, he just was holding this shit in, you know what I'm saying, this whole time. And just by me being his son, he just couldn't help it. Like, he was just comfortable around me. Like, he was, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was a kid, but I understood what he was going through, you know what I'm saying? Now, as I'm an adult, you feel me? So, like, I feel like just when people try to bottle in and hold those emotions in, it's never good to do because we all human. And literally, I feel like it's just proven fact just off of history. At one point, it might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, it might not be next year, it might be 10 years ago. You gonna release it. Like, if whether you like explode, if you willingly find a way to release it, before you leave this earth, it's coming at you.
Yeah, sometimes it don't come out in the
One
way
way or
you
another.
expect.
Exactly.
Or
Come
on the
out.
people that really deserve
Yeah.
it, to your point, yeah.
Speaking on it, especially in a conversation like this, somebody outside watching this would be like, damn, I feel like that too. You feel me? Like, that's the reason why I don't mind having these conversations. Because I do it for me, but I know for a fact it's like giving somebody the game without talking to them directly.
Absolutely. Now, Rome, single mother raising you with multiple siblings, I already know, the weight she had to carry, that, she had to carry a lot. What are some traumas that you feel like may have been passed down from her or just your father?
I think our parents do a good job, or they try to. I feel like in the Black community, to mask any issues or any inconsistencies while you growing up. I know my mom did that, and so I didn't realize that what I was going through wasn't early on. I didn't realize till I was an adult, or even when I moved out of Chicago, that what I was going through was a little crazy, And so that's probably like something I got passed down on her, is just being able to navigate issues and not let it affect like everyday life, as far as dealing with the people I got to deal with in the workspace, career, all that stuff, But as far as, my dad, yeah, I mean, he was around later in my life, But there's a lot of history I don't know about him and know about, because I'm part Cuban too. My mom is Black and my dad is Cuban. And so I got a lot of history I don't know about. My grandma died when I was real young, you know what I'm saying? So I don't even know a lot about that history. I feel like I didn't have a chance to really, I think knowing that stuff about before you kind of got here, kind of helps you understand yourself too, because it's like, the saying is like history repeats itself. I think that's universal for pretty much everything. And humans, we are like creatures of habit, and the things that they going through, my family, my mom, my dad, and then me having similar upbringing, going through the same thing, it's kind of like you're gonna get the same version of the people that was before you, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot I don't know still, you know what I'm saying? So right now, I'm not sure, just kind of rolling with it.
Man, me and Ron got something in common, man, because I met my father for the first time in my late 20s, He recently passed away a couple of months ago, and I got a chance I found him on Facebook randomly. It's a crazy story. I got to meet him one time, but I didn't really know him. So I don't know, like you said, history repeats itself. I don't know what history I'm repeating. I don't know that part of my lineage. But with my mom and my grandma, I think one of the things that I inherited is this idea that the goal is only worth it if I struggle for it. Like, the struggle makes the ultimate goal worth it. And if you don't struggle, somehow the thing that you receive isn't as worth it. And what happens is, sometimes I gotta do shit the hard way. If I don't really walk through the mud for it, then this isn't the way to go. And sometimes the easy way out is the best way. Or you don't accept a handout from somebody who really wants to help you. Nah, I gotta earn it myself or it's not worth it. And now that I'm 39, man, and now that I'm here, I realize how many times that really held me back in life. I think one of my issues is, if the easy button's right there, nah, I gotta go around. I gotta earn this joint. And I would never hit the easy button. If the easy button is right in front of you, y'all comfortable hitting it?
Nah, I'm not, because I want to see how strong I am. I want to see what I'm capable of.
test.
Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm that kind of guy, like, I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little hard-headed in a way. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Some shit hot, you be like, that stove hot. I'm gonna touch that motherfucker.
You gonna tap that joint a little
I just
bit.
want to see how much I could take, you feel what I'm saying? Because you never know what you actually are gonna have to take, you feel what I'm saying? And that's kind of, it's not healthy, because I think it got a lot to do with the environment that I'm from. You know what I'm saying? Like, I come from gladiator school, bro. Like, I think even still at 29 years old, I try to see how much pain I could endure, because I don't know if I'm gonna have to endure this much pain one day. Like, I train my brain for the worst to happen, because I'm used to this happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, So yeah, if the easy button right there, I'm probably not gonna take that motherfucker. I'm gonna go do 3, 4, 5 laps, then come back and take it. But yeah, not me.
You hitting that joint wrong?
I think, I mean, that's a good question. The way I think about it is like, so the easy button metaphorically means you're skipping the line. You're skipping the experience.
Right.
To me, the journey is the reason that we do all of the things that we do. And for instance, if I hand you a book and I'm like, don't read it, just read the front and the back. Like you would leave there being like, I kind of know how it end and start, but you would have gotten nothing from that. You know what I'm saying? And so pressing the easy button mean that you skipping the steps that actually shape the kind of person you become. But in certain, instances, easy is okay.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's like, I was thinking about this the other day, like the connective tissue between, our popular artists, our successful artists, our successful athletes, the LeBrons of the world, KDs, guys who have really had it rough growing up. And now they're most successful. My thing is kind of tampering with that experience would result in us maybe not having those guys. Maybe we don't get a G Herbo if he has a structured life where he not living in Chicago and he don't have to look over his back. Maybe we don't get that version of him.
You wouldn't.
Maybe he's not rapping. Maybe he, whatever he doing, he gonna be successful regardless.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like, I think the bigger conversation is like the culture as a whole. We idolize these certain parts of our experience because we relate to them, right? When people, they rock with Herbo because he talk about what he talk about and where he's from. A lot of people where he from feel what he say, and even if some people don't really understand that, it ain't for them. And so he has an audience for him that's still global. And that tells you how much trauma is actually throughout the culture, throughout their black experience, that he could rap about the shit he been through and then he bobbing their head like, yo, this shit crazy, this shit happened to me. What does that mean? Like how he got here kind of thing. So I don't know, I think it's a double-edged sword. Maybe if Brian had his dad in his life, maybe he don't be the greatest player of all time. Maybe if my structure was different, I wouldn't be doing the avenues that I'm doing.
I agree. Like, and I think about that a lot though. Like I always like analyze my life in that kind of way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because when I was a kid, my mom and dad, like I used to get in trouble and shit a lot, like get suspended in school and shit like that. So my mom and kid like sent me to Iowa to go live with my cousins.
The state of Iowa?
Iowa.
What's that Iowa,
Fort
bro?
Dodge, Iowa.
What's there?
Fields. Nothing. Don't get me wrong, like I was doing good out there. Like I was playing AAU basketball out there, and I'll go back home like right before the school year. And then this whole school year, I'm living a totally different life in Chicago.
Yeah.
And I kind of almost wanted that life in Iowa. Like I used to really want it. Like, damn, I think I'd go to the NBA if I stayed out here. But if I stay in Chicago, I probably wouldn't make it to the league because there's too much going on. You know what I'm saying? And I think about like, what would my life be if I actually made that decision and go out there? You know what I'm saying? And it got a lot to do with like the easy hard button too, because when I got to a certain age, I'm like, man, this shit just don't feel right. It just feel too scripted out here. Like I gotta go back to some adversity. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was young when I made that decision. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was making critical decisions like that early on, and I made it for that reason. It's just like, I'm like, nah, you know what I'm saying? I always knew how to rap. Even when I was doing that, I knew how to rap, but I didn't want to be a rapper at the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when I got like 15 years old, I'm like, man, I can't live in Iowa, bro. I gotta be in Chicago. It just feel more right for me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think it just, like what we saying, just easy button in the hard way. Like I chose to take the hard way, and it was beneficial for me. Like I know for a fact I wouldn't be G Herbo if I stayed in Fort Dodge, Iowa. Like, it's not possible.
I feel that. LeBron definitely wouldn't be who he was if he didn't go.
I mean, he'd still be great. He's still 6'9".
He still
He can still be in the league.
It'd be crazy
But
to
I
have a
think part of
6'9"
him,
florist
you know,
that got a long
No, he
range
gonna be
jumper.
in the league. But I'm saying what drove him to be great was the fact that he needed to get his family, get his mom, situated.
Absolutely.
And
I agree.
he was chosen, and it was put upon him by God to be who he was and not who he is now. That don't mean he wouldn't be great. I think you'd be great regardless. But it's like we have so many different realities where the certain decisions we make shape what ultimately happens in our life.
100%.
And it don't rob you of your greatness. It just means you are in a different form.
Right.
Like, you know, you probably, I don't know, who knows what you would be. You probably still be rapping, maybe.
Hell
Some
no.
conscious rap, you know, some Kendrick shit. You never know.
I just wouldn't have that drive. I feel like the drive and just
Yeah, I get it.
the experiences, bro. Like my life was literally like when I think back on it, it was like a movie, and I keep going back to like things that we already spoke about and covered. You know what I'm saying? In this conversation, that's how you know we actually touching the right angles and making the right points as we supposed to, because it's like reality don't really set in when you in it. Like I made a decision to leave the streets right before my first son was born. You know what I'm saying? Transition into that. And it wasn't until that I moved to LA and I was in a different environment. I'm living good, I'm making money, I'm out of harm's way in a way. Like I literally moved to LA only for the sole purpose of not wanting to look over my shoulders for the rest of my life.
Safety.
That's the only reason I moved to LA, is to not be in the line of fire. And when I got there and my environment changed, I started to have nightmares about the stuff that I experienced prior. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like I never faced those demons or whatever they are. Yeah. I never faced them because when I was in the mix, I was doing the exact same thing every day. I'm self-medicating. I got addicted to lean and pills when I was 14, 15 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like witnessing murders, seeing my friends get killed, and me getting shot and having to carry a gun to school. Like I used to take my gun to school, like when I was a freshman in high school. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like if I ain't taking it to the school, I'm getting dropped off with it and getting picked up with it. You feel what I'm saying? So like all of that stuff that was going on, it was my reality. It was so normal. I didn't face that reality at the time because I was just getting high, self-medicating, waking up the next day doing the same thing, and that was just what it was. It took for me to remove myself from that environment and not experience that, not getting shootouts, not seeing people being murdered and all this shit in my life is actually where I wanted to be. Now I can't get no sleep because I'm having nightmares, and you know what I'm saying? Like my past is finally catching up to me, you feel what I'm saying? Right. So when you said that, I understood it 100%, and I know there's so many other people that feel like that, and it's like, what is it? You know, it's always that question, the if, the what factor. Like, what are these emotions I'm feeling? Yeah. Why am I feeling like this? What do I do about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, and still to this day, I still have these nightmares. You feel what I'm saying? Like, this shit hasn't went away no more. It don't matter if I speak about it or whatever the case. Like, I feel like it's there, and I don't know. And even now, like today, all the time, I still think like, what am I gonna be like when I'm 40 and 50? Like, am I gonna still have these nightmares? Am I gonna still have these emotions? You feel what I'm saying? Like, I think about that, and those thoughts never came to me when I was in it.
Yeah. Nah, bro. But I want to give you your flowers because, again, I know we talking about, of course, certain people, the level of success you guys have reached, trauma played a role in that, right? But Herbo, I want to give you your flowers. And even with LeBron, like when it comes to Bronny didn't have to go through that same level of trauma LeBron did, and look where he's at. Look at your son. I saw you on the podcast with, the live stream with Casanat. And he started crying and getting emotional. And you were there for him and consoled him in that moment and let him know it's okay to be emotional. Bro, our trauma doesn't have to be our kid's story. And you know what I'm saying? So as a father, when I saw that, bro, I was like, y'all love that shit. Because it's like, bro, the things that we deal with, that don't have to be the story that they have to follow, right? They can actually grow up in a healthy environment, be emotionally intelligent, and then still reach amazing heights in their life and career. That can be their story. You know what I'm saying?
What I'm putting in my son, that's not how I was raised. My dad used to tell me, shake that shit out.
Right.
Like, well, shake it out.
Fix your face.
Right.
That's what used to be.
Well, yeah,
Fix your face.
What you crying for? Like, my daddy wasn't telling me it's okay to cry. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm showing my son. You feel me? Like, so yeah, that wasn't how I was raised at all.
Nah, that's big, because again, like you're right, like, especially when you're trying to raise them boys, it's like, man, shake it off. You're trying to get them to be tough.
You could fall out of moving car, my daddy's be like, shake that shit off, man. Like, he'll literally grab you and shake you, wipe you off, like, what, dust you off.
Makes you wonder what he heard when he was a little boy and he failed.
Exactly.
Perhaps he needed to be picked up and hugged and kissed, but that wasn't his reality.
The crazy thing is, like, I mean, obviously, your pops, like, I'm thinking about his reality, how he was brought up too, but also preparing you for what your experience was in the city.
Yeah, for
Being
sure.
like, I can't allow you to show no emotion. That's a sign of weakness.
For sure.
You gotta shake that shit off.
My daddy instilled that in me as a kid too, though. Like, my dad was, bro, psychologically, he kind of fucked me up because I was Like my dad used to tell me when I was a kid, like, man, I'll kill you. Like he used to tell me this shit when I was like 5 years old. He like, man, if I catch you doing drugs, if I catch you on the corner, I'm gonna walk up and blow your shit out. And that shit scared the fuck out of me when I was a kid. Like, you feel what I'm saying? It had me like, I was a good kid growing up. Like I had straight A's and everything my dad told me to do, I did. Fighting in school and shit, he didn't give a fuck about that. Like he didn't care about me getting in fights as long as I ain't really started them and just doing knucklehead shit. But I only got in trouble for getting F's, D's, a C. I got in trouble. You feel me? Like so, all I knew is I had to bring back good grades, and if I was sneaky enough, I could go get away with whatever the fuck I wanted to. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's how my dad like raised me growing up. And I'm going back to say like when he used to tell me like, man, if you do this, I'll kill you. And I believed him up to a certain point. Mm-hmm. So it's like when I got older and 15, 14, you know what I'm saying, when I started to actually do drugs and do all this shit and I'm being in the streets, and I got to an age was like, I'm not scared of you no more. And my dad knew that, you feel what I'm saying? Like, and I was just so burnt out. It's like I'm carrying a gun outside. I'm doing all this shit in the streets. Like, Dad, you can't really little boy me no more. Right. You feel me? And I kind of had to force it. But also my dad just trusted me so much and enough to know like he really is smart. I know I put like instilled so much in him that when I started to like, all right, bet this what I'm on, I'm rapping, he trusted me. He just like, all right, I can't really control him because I'm like him. He saw himself in me. He like, all right, this boy headstrong. I'm knowing as a father, now that I'm a father and I'm old and I'm mature, I could see why he did what he did, because he like, all I'm gonna do is just push my son away. Keep trying to make him do this and do that, you feel what I'm saying? Because my dad was the same way too. My dad was 15, 16 years old. He had money, he had a car, he lived by himself. Like when I was 16, 17 years old, I had a condo downtown, bro, but I was still a kid, you feel what I'm saying? Like, so my dad didn't always agree with everything that I did, you feel what I'm saying? But he just like, he gonna do it anyway, so let me try to just polish the shit up and make sure he do it right, you feel what I'm saying? Like those are the kind of conversations that I had with my father and shit like that. But you could tell that he was raised a certain way, like how you said, like you could tell it got a lot to do with his upbringing, you feel what I'm saying? Like my dad was the only child. His father died when he was like 16, 17 years old, or no, 14, 15, I'm sorry. And he had to like fend for himself, you feel me?
That's
so
a crazy pattern, bro.
Yeah. He had to fend for himself. And by the time I got a certain age, my dad was there, you feel what I'm saying? But I had to fend for myself. And my dad used to always tell me, when you go out this house and when you leave out, I can't make your decisions for you. You feel what I'm saying? And my daddy knew what my neighborhood was heading for. Like, he know I'm hanging around niggas in the streets. He know my neighborhood full of drugs and violence, you feel what I'm saying? So when I leave out, he know what I'm up against. So when my behavior started to change and I started to become kind of what he was and become what's outside, you feel me? Because I was in the streets to a degree a little stronger than what my dad was. I'm being honest, you feel what I'm saying? And when he saw it, and I think he just trusted who I was as a man, even though I was young, I was really still a young man and moving like that. He just let me be, and the shit worked out, you feel what I'm saying? But the trials and tribulations and the stuff that's in the middle of it, the bullshit, he just let me, he like, you gotta figure it out on your own, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was one of them, like, hey, you got yourself in this shit, you gotta get out of it. I can talk to you, give you a little insight, but you did it, you feel what I'm saying? Like, that's how my dad was.
Nutshell, bro. That's like the message, that's the motif of masculinity in a nutshell. I'm gonna do the best I can for you, but hey, you're gonna have to figure it out by yourself, man. And it's helpful in terms of the resiliency part that you're talking about. But the hurtful part is when you up against it and you can't just navigate through it with your actions, you gotta navigate it through with your emotions. You hit that wall, then what?
Yeah.
And that then what could land you in a lot of sticky places. It can get you back something crazy.
Absolutely.
That's real, that's real. Since you've been showing up differently for your kids, how do you feel like that's been impacting them?
Man, tremendously, bro. Like
something blossoming, bro.
Yeah, it's like being a father, bro, is, I feel like, my strongest attribute for real. Like, that's, like, you know, I feel like that's the only thing that I gotta get right. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I gotta get this right, you know? So with me being a father, I believe in full honesty and transparency. You cannot hide things from children because, for one, they know. When I feel like when kids ask you shit, they know. Like my son, like, and I was the same way. When I asked questions, I knew these things. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I literally used to ask my mom and dad questions to see if they was gonna lie. You feel what I'm saying? And still had to ask and never tell them that I know the truth. But now I know the truth and I'm using this to my advantage now. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so that's what children do. And I know that. So I'm gonna, the ugly truth, the harsh reality, whatever it is, you feel what I'm saying? Like literally probably a week or two ago, my son, he curious. Like he loved me so much as a father and he look up to me. He's invested in my entire life. He on the internet, he know everything that I do. He looking it up, you feel what I'm saying? He's literally going on Google, typing my name and looking at this shit, you feel me? So he asked his grandmother, like, my dad been to jail? You feel what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. Like, what my dad go to jail for? And she like, man, you should probably talk to your dad about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, she probably gave him a little bit, but she like, talk to you over that. He like, nah, my dad, he gonna be mad at me. Like, she like, nah, he ain't gonna be mad. Talk to him, you feel what I'm saying? So like, I taught my son, like, it's not anything that you should ever be afraid to tell me, afraid to ask me. Like, whatever it is, I'm gonna tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I told that to my son, and I explained to him, like, certain things. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so, like, he had asked me, like, Dad, why your security gotta carry a gun and stuff like that? And I'm like, he gotta protect us to make sure we get home. We not gonna harm nobody. We gotta make sure that we protect it because it's crazy out here. It's a lot of people who are willing to, like, harm me or, you know what I'm saying, anything, you know what I'm saying, just because of who I am. So I don't care how old, if I feel like they could understand what's going on, I'm gonna tell my kids the truth.
I love that, man. I'm glad you transparent with them, man. Because we look at protection as fathers in a lot of different ways. I think one of the ways that we sleep on protection is honesty, not shielding you from the truth because I feel like I'm keeping something away from you. What I'm keeping away from you is awareness and information. I'm not giving you the opportunity to make a determination on whether or not this is something you deserve to know. I take that option away from you.
That's the reality, bro, like, of just what it is, because you could try to keep somebody away from something as much as you know, and they will become exactly what you try to keep you away
fall
from.
right into
You know
the
what I'm
joint
saying?
like you ain't never tried to
Tariq
cover
St.
it
Patrick
up.
type shit, like, you feel me? Like, that's true. Even though it's TV, that type of shit really happens.
Nah, that's real.
Art imitates life, bro.
Nah, that's real. And again, man, I want to give you flowers because, again, like, that video went viral, man. Like, me and I know my peers, we needed to see that. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, my son's 7. He's doing great in school, man, making an honor roll all year. More Mac, you're doing your thing. But one thing I'm struggling with right now at age 7, he's transitioning to 2nd grade, is he still, sometimes it's the whining when it comes to not getting his way, or just when, like, if he's in a basketball game, he misses a shot. He shuts down, he's whining. Now he's like pouting on the court, not doing that. If he's in boxing, same thing. When he's at the house, if I tell him no on something, now he starts to pout. And it's like, for me, I've been struggling with trying to give him that tough love, and it's like, yo, stop that whining shit. Versus just like talking to him, Brandon, come here, like, all right, why are you upset?
For sure.
Tell me why you're upset. It's okay to be upset, but how do you still, even though you're upset, you still gotta go to school and do what you're supposed to do.
Right.
You still gotta finish the game. You can't quit the boxing lesson just because you didn't hit the guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to still push through. And I'm trying to battle with, you know, like, giving him that tough love, but still making sure that I'm listening to what he's mad about, even when I tell him no. I can only imagine as girl dads, like, how you guys are balancing, like, making sure your daughters just have that emotional intelligence and empowering them to be who they need to be. Can you share that journey and some experiences that you've had? I come to you first, Kier.
Oh, me, I'm looking at Rome like, yeah, tell me, dog, what you be doing? His daughter older than mine, so I'm still trying to figure it out. I mean, with my daughter, I often wonder if I had a son, if some of them ideas of what I think a boy turn into a man should be would influence the way that I move. I can't answer that, I'm not sure. But with my daughter, it's very similar. I want to teach her to be strong, but teach her to still not ignore her feelings. That's not something that's just germane to the way men move through the world. A lot of women struggle with that too. And trying to find that balance between it's okay to be sad and, hey, we gotta really figure out how to get through this in a healthy way, but we still gotta get through it. I know we're in a point where we're really acknowledging all our emotions as a society, and that's fire. I love all that, but we still gotta figure out how to cope, how to adapt, how to overcome in all the healthiest ways possible. So just trying to figure that out as a dad, even as a therapist, it's still hard, man. It's still hard, bro. But I think I'm doing a good job, though.
Nah, you doing great.
Yeah, man.
I say so.
For me, my mom, because my dad wasn't around that much, my mom always used fear. Fear only lasts so long. Because at some point, you see yourself in the mirror and realize that you're becoming a man. And like you said, yo, I wasn't scared of my pops no more. Right. And so when you use fear to communicate and to get points across, it's an easy fix. So, and then what happens is kids start to develop the familiarity with fear. with being in trouble. When you use those sort of tactics to, I guess, communicate, at some point, we get enough to where it don't work no more. And now you get to the age where your mom started trying to whoop you when you don't feel nothing.
Right.
And you just laugh and you like, why it's funny?
Yeah.
It's like it don't work no more.
Yeah.
And so like now when you become a father, you have opportunities. Like you want to make sure you establish an emotional connection.
That's right.
And when you do it that way, and actually have a conversation, even when they 1, 2, 3 years old, you develop this connection to the point where you don't have to like digest the problems that are happening with fear or violence or like scaring them into submission. You have to navigate them like it's like being a mouse in a maze. You gotta help them see where the cheese is at. Mm-hmm. You know, you can't like be angry with them, they can't find it. Mm-hmm. And so for me as a father, like it's about me having an emotional connection to the point where whatever emotion, you know, she may be dealing with, that she can come with me about it. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's the name of the game for me. I don't have a son, I have a daughter, so like patience. If you teach them early on to have emotional intelligence, mm-hmm. to be able to digest their feelings,
you can do that.
Then they'll be able to, you know, navigate life later, you know, and hopefully not make bad choices, man. Hopefully don't do the thing that can change their life forever, right. You know?
Nah, you're right. And I think the key is not just, because you 100% right, bruh. And I think the first step is teaching them emotional intelligence, but to drive the point home, I think the second step of that is demonstrating emotional intelligence in your own life. Because they don't just hear what you say, they pick up what you do. I think like maybe 60% of fatherhood is direct, the things that you intend to do. The other 40 is the little things they pick up, the mannerisms in your face, the way you respond to stress, the way you respond to people out into the world. So when you demonstrate that emotional intelligence, it lives in the back of their mind. When they become an adult, they can exercise that and be a part of who they are.
I definitely agree with that. You have to be able to have that connection emotionally, like you said, with them where they're not afraid to talk to you, because a lot of times, like you said, when they in school, when they outside, they have to trust you enough to tell you what happened at school. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why I feel like being transparent, being honest with my kids, you know what I'm saying? It's like the thing with having a daughter, you have to be patient. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be, as a father, you have to be able to talk to them, because you're not really gonna feel comfortable, or me at least, and a lot of fathers, actually physically putting your hands on your daughter when she do wrong to discipline her. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you have to be able to talk to them. Like with my son, I'll pop him in the back of the head. You know what I'm saying? With a son, it's gonna be a little more hands-on, tough love. With a daughter, you have to have that friendship, because I feel like, how am I going to be able to protect my daughter if she's not comfortable telling me everything? Right. I don't care if it's relationship stuff, anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, so as a father, you just gotta be a little strategic with that. You know what I'm saying?
This fatherhood journey ain't easy. For us to navigate what we navigate in our careers, and to still show up and try to navigate these young children so they can be adults that can be on their own in the real world, it's not easy. You know what I'm saying? What's not even easier, I think, is doing it in the social media area, right? Like, all you guys are high profile. I can only imagine the things that you have to deal with. For me, you know, I will be honest, like when I first had my son, and I feel like it's a stigma with black fathers, right? So when I first had my son, I felt like because I was long distance, so I'm going back and forth. I felt like I had to post and like prove something. I felt like I had to prove myself that, yeah, I'm in my son's life, I'm here, I'm doing this, you know what I'm saying? And that was something that kind of haunted me. Now I've kind of gone and accepted, like, I know I'm a good dad, I don't need validation from anybody. I don't need validation from his mom, my mom, the public, whoever. Like, I know what I'm bringing to the table. Rome, you've been strategic in how you handle your daughter when it comes to social media. Why have you been that way? And just like kind of share what that process, with the thinking with that.
Yeah, man, I just think, as you are in the position where you gotta protect your kids, like, and much of that is just shielding her from the world. Not necessarily like that she don't exist, but it's like, you shouldn't take on the burden because of who I am. You shouldn't have to worry about, you know, be aware of things that I'm dealing with because of what I do, you know. And so my goal really was for her to, and still is, to have as much of a normal, you know, childhood, bringing, you know, life for her as I could for her. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't control what people gonna do. I'm not gonna be with her 24 hours out of the day. You know, sometimes I'm in a different state, you know, 6-7 months sometimes, you know. So, and I don't bring her to stay with me no more, because it's like, she'd rather be doing something else.
Right.
Like, you know, it's like 12, 14 hours.
Yeah, she 10. She ain't.
Yeah, man, you know, it's like quiet on the set. She, what? You know, like, that's crazy. Like, I can't talk. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
for me, it's like trying to let her be, let her know what's going on. Make sure she aware of who I am and what I do.
For sure.
And knowing the troubles and the things that's out there, but also let her understand that her privacy, my privacy, is most important. Because that way I can limit, the outside influences. You know,
For sure.
you know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, I know this is social media era. Like, she gonna at some point do her own thing, and she'll be on there, and But let's try to protect this as much as I can. Keep it in the crib, so that way I can give her the value she need to have. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to her watching something on TikTok or whatever and being like, oh, that's how you deal with that. And so for me, it's just a form of like just making sure I protect her in a way. Because people get crazy about your life. They want to know.
Absolutely.
Your kids become celebrities all of a sudden.
You don't have to tell me. My son is. I agree with you. Like, I wish, like, me and my son mom didn't really expose my you know what I'm saying, my son is so much to the internet, because my son's literally a superstar. He's a celebrity everywhere he goes. Like, your son.
Right.
You want to take pictures. Like, adults ask me, can they take pictures of my kid? I'm like, hell no.
That's crazy.
Make you think I'm gonna let you take a picture of my son? You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you feel me? But he go through that. Like, when he in Chicago with my mom, my mother, then is 60 years old. Like, she be like, I ain't take you to the corner store with me. Like,
Right,
I'm not finna be walking down the street with you and everybody stopping to my, go, your son. You feel me? Like, because a lot of people don't even know my mom is my mom. You feel me? Like, she like that. She like, I enjoy being able to walk around Chicago and everybody not like UG Herbo mom. You feel me? Like, she enjoys that. You feel me? So I done literally heard her and my son like, can I go to the store with you? She like, no. I'm not even finna get stopped 100 times walking around with you. And we did that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, my son's literally a celebrity. Like, everywhere he go, people want to take pictures. They stopping him. You feel me? And he don't even understand it. He be like, he don't like it. To be honest, he don't like it. He don't want to take pictures. People walk up to him and he's still a kid, so he don't understand. They be like, hey, yo, son. He be like, how do you know my name?
Right.
Like, how do you even know me? You feel what I'm saying? So it's like,
Probably
it's
happened a lot when you're not even there. Like, he had
it
been at
happened
school
a
or whatever.
lot, bro. Like, he got to the
on.
point where he started asking me, like, am I famous? And I'm like, yeah. But he like, why? Like, what I do? You feel? I'm like, because me and your mom, you know what I'm saying? So, like, and he got double, you feel me? Like, his mom a celebrity, his dad a celebrity, so he can't get away from it.
Nah, man, I know that's hard to handle and navigate, man. And again, like, I want to bring up the Impact ATL. It was a scene for your son's birthday where, Ari got a little upset. You were kind of late to the party, and, she came out and was like, you're a bad father. And you was like, yo, like, that's hurtful. Like, why would you say that? I'm not gonna hold you, bro. I can relate to that because, and not anymore, but in the younger days when me and his mom were trying to figure out, because, young newborn, that was a comment that was made a lot of times. And I think it used to bother me. And I'm like, yo, like, how can you say that? Like, how can you say that when I'm traveling here, I'm showing up? Like, how could you say that? But it's like, she's dealing with a lot, going through postpartum, different things. And a lot of times, man, they're saying these things, but they don't mean it.
She don't mean it at all.
Yeah, so just share your experience with that.
And that's why I didn't even pay attention, because, like, it's no way that you really feel like I'm a bad father. I'm too active in my, my kids' lives. And I'm the dad that, like, I don't mind being on the plane 2-3 times out the day. Like, I do that. Like, I fly to go pick my kids up in LA, fly to go pick my son up in Atlanta, Miami, or wherever he is. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and even to speak on that situation, like, I feel like she was just probably frustrated, you know what I'm saying? Because her knowing the real, she probably, like, she said that kind of to get under my skin for real, because she felt the way, you feel me? Because when that happened, that was my son's graduation. He graduated from preschool, but that was also my daughter's first birthday. So I had to be both places, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't, exactly, I was 2 places at once. I couldn't leave the night before because it was my daughter's birthday. So I had to leave the morning of my son's graduation. And I ended up making it after the graduation. But at the end of the day, I don't, like, with me as a father and parenthood in general, I don't care about what happened. Like, I'm going to show up. I don't care if it's after whatever. Like, I'm going to enjoy whatever time with my son is possible. Like, I missed the graduation, but I'm about to go with my son. We about to go enjoy whatever time, you feel what I'm saying? Because he gonna be happy to see me regardless. As a kid, they don't understand that type of stuff. He just wanna know you there. You just gotta be present. So at the end of the day, that's the only thing that I care about. My only main goal and main focus is to be present. I might not have the answers, but I'm gonna figure them out. Like I just gotta be there, and that's the most important thing. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I love that, man. And you handled that situation well. Like,
For
you know,
sure.
you apologized and said, look, like that's hurtful. I remember she came outside and she was like, all right, my bad. Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I like how you handled that, man.
No, for sure. And I think we at the point now, me and her, where like communication was like the best thing for us. Like it's always just, even if we may agree to disagree, but a conversation, like a lot of times, it's just the uncomfortable conversation that got to be had. A lot of times, we as adults, you know, we avoid those uncomfortable conversations.
You speaking on some truth right
Yeah,
now, brother.
and I stopped doing that, and it was beneficial. Like it helped me out. You know what I'm saying? Like I was the kind of guy I avoided all uncomfortable conversations. I'm like, all right, whatever. Like because, like you said, like I'm confident in who I am as a man, as a father. I feel like I don't got to talk to you. I don't got to explain myself. I don't have to do that. But it's okay to see, all right, what is it that I did that may have offended you or frustrated you or whatever the case? Okay, I could apologize for it, and I could tell you, I'm gonna try my best for it not to happen again. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where I am as a man. Those couple little words will save you so much time and energy and emotion. You know what I'm
Avoidance
saying?
is the enemy of progress, dog. Avoidance is the enemy of progress. The thing that you're avoiding is sometimes the thing you need to do in order to get through the difficult situation that you're having.
Nah, man. And to like, you know, again, from y'all to go from that to now, I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Listen, they got Sierra's prayer. Ladies got Sierra's prayer. Hey, bro, I need to know the G Herbo prayer because now to go from that, now you have created a beautiful family unit.
Yeah.
You know, you got Aura, you got Ty, you got your new baby mom, new girlfriend together, one happy family, man. How do we get here? Give me the G Herbo prayer, bro, so I can
It
start
was
praying.
hard, man.
What's
You
the
know,
playbook, cuz?
honestly, bro, it's really just seeing it through. You feel what I'm saying? Like never giving up. You feel what I'm saying? And it was the thing, like, and I had a conversation, like, in my household and outside, whether it's with my baby mama or with my girl or whoever, and it's just like I accept the fact. In reality, is like I don't look at either. Like I don't look at my first baby mama like she's not still a part of my family. You feel what I'm saying? So that's what it was. I feel like that's what helped me in the long run. You feel what I'm saying? Like I don't let arguments or emotions. We might be arguing bad on Tuesday, but Wednesday you still my family. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'm still trying. I'm not holding a grudge. You feel me? And I think that's what it was. Where they saw like, all right, the way I carried the situation, I kind of forced them to carry it the same way. You know, I'm like I didn't force it on them, but I forced it where it's just like, y'all my family no matter what.
Y'all
You know
might
what
as
I'm
well
saying?
get
Like,
with the program.
we don't have no choice because I'm gonna actively be at all my kids' lives. I'm gonna actively have all my kids together, and it's like at some point that bridge y'all gonna have to cross it. I don't care if it's now, 5 years, 10 years from down the line. Like I was banking on, as long as by the time my kids graduate, they'll be cool. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and it just happened. You know what I'm saying? Because I always envisioned that, I always wanted that. You feel what I'm saying? And I always did my part as a man to make sure that that's possible. You feel what I'm saying? Like I said, it's always a conversation. So they was avoiding having that conversation. Once they had the conversation, they was cool. You feel what I'm saying? So we put all the personal stuff aside because once we see all the kids happy, they happy. Like now they text each other, they planning birthdays and stuff like that. Like this is what we doing for your son's birthday. Oh, this is what I'm doing for Essence and Emmy birthday. Like they got their own relationship, don't got nothing to do with me no
cohesion
more.
over there.
And I love it, bro. Like I stand out of it. Like I'm like, y'all got it.
As a therapist, man, and somebody that's married, how big of a role does our mental health and the communication play in our relationships?
Oh, everything. I mean, you can't assume that somebody knows what you think and feel without you explicitly expressing that.
Right.
We say communication all the time, but what does that mean? You know, what does that mean? You said something about avoidance. It's easy to avoid the difficult thing because who wants to deal with conflict?
Right.
People manage conflict in two different ways. And once you put the conflict on the table, just because I'm over it doesn't mean that you're over it. And when you're not over something, then we can't even move past it because we got to readdress that. And what if you feel like we can't address it enough? No matter how many times we talk about it, no matter how many times we go through it, no matter how much you express the way you feel, it doesn't feel resolved. Or what if I feel that way? So conversation and communication, I mean, it's a brilliant social media buzzword, but what it means a lot of times is trying to connect with a person. It means not just hearing them, but actually listening to them. You know the famous phrase, listen to understand and not respond. But like communication means if the conversation is going left, somebody putting a pause on it and say, hold up, man. We exchanging frustrations with each other, but it don't feel productive. We're not really going anywhere. You know, putting a pin in it, knowing when to table the conversation, and having the courage to reestablish the communication. Be like, hey, we had this conversation earlier and I paused. Let me approach you to get the conversation started back up. Right. This is what I said earlier. I might not always get it right, but I can always make it right. Yeah. You know, focusing on not just perfection, but on repair too. Right. Like all these things that nobody teaches. We don't learn, and sometimes the only way we do learn is through making mistakes. Yeah. And hopefully we have the maturity to tie those loose ends in the right spot once those mistakes are made.
It's really what you said. Like, I might not get it right, but I could make it right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's all I used to like.
That's my fatherhood mantra, and my husbandhood mantra.
I never said it like that, but I always feel like that. Like, I always tell people, like, I'm just trying to do the next best thing, bro. Like, I might have messed up today, but I'm trying to make the right decision tomorrow.
And I'm still accountable for the way I messed up. Absolutely. That's mine. I did it. I own it.
I own it.
But when we move forward, I'm gonna move forward with that in mind. I'm not gonna ignore that.
I like having these conversations though, bro. That should be helpful to me. And then sometimes it made me feel like, all right, maybe I am thinking the right way. Like I'm on the right track. You feel what I'm saying? Especially to hear it from like, you know, my peers and people like y'all self, especially who have like the weight of the world on their shoulders, who have all the resources to be doing whatever they want, but we choose to be better versions of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like doing the right thing. Like that's all I be trying to do, bro. Like for real. And in a way, it's kind of like I don't really care about perception and what people think about me, but I do want people to, you know what I'm saying? I want to be known as a honorable man. You know what I'm saying? Like, for sure. When it's all said and done. So that's something that's always in my mind. Like I'm always thinking about the righteous thing to do. I don't want to do what's not righteous ever. You feel me? So like that's I think that's what's just gonna always keep me on the straight and narrow because I'm always thinking about what is the right thing to do. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
nah, I love that, man. Again, like to circle back on the therapy, man. 2 questions in one, man. One, I feel like for our community, you know, you get these 1-hour sessions. Like, well, I ain't got enough time to get out all my. I want to dump all the trauma on the table. And that first side, I want you to solve my problems. And then 2, for us, you know what I'm saying, with insurance, it's tough to pay for. A lot of insurance are not covering this. So, man, are we approaching things the wrong way, thinking that we can get everything solved in a 1-hour session? And then 2,
time out. I don't want to cut you off. You could do therapy with insurance?
Yeah. They got insurance, bro.
Yeah.
Never.
You can hit your insurance and they'll give you a list of therapists, list of providers.
Never knew that.
A lot of people don't.
Damn, that's crazy.
Who would tell you that?
Nobody.
Exactly. That's why we lost in the mix.
That's crazy, bro. I never knew that, man. Damn, that's great. That's good. But you know, black people don't got insurance.
For sure. You know?
There's life insurance.
Life insurance is not gonna cover
your
therapy,
parents. That's it.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right. Your question is, are we wrong for thinking we can solve everything in an hour?
In an hour, and then with some helpful ways that we could pay for? Because insurance, we do see, just like you Herbo didn't know, we do have insurance.
Right.
I don't know if we're wrong for it, but I don't think that's necessarily a perspective that's going to be helpful. Put it like this: therapy is 1 hour enough to get some work done? Absolutely. Is 1 hour enough to fix everything? Never.
Right.
But the goal of therapy isn't to fix everything. And sometimes folks come in because they got this big pain that they're dealing with. And when you got big pain, sometimes there's this sense of urgency to get it all taken away immediately. But that's the same as being 400 pounds and thinking you're gonna hop in the gym for a week and drop 200 of those pounds when you've been gaining this 400 pounds over 30 years. You can't deconstruct something that complicated that lives inside of you that easily. So the way that I tell people is like this. You know, people think of therapy, they think that you're gonna hop in a session and it's like gutting, remodeling, and renovating the house. You think you're gonna gut, remodel, and renovate that entire house in 1 month?
Right.
That's impossible. So in therapy, sometimes the goal isn't to renovate the house. I know that's what you wanna do. I understand that, but that's not the goal. Sometimes the goal is just to knock down that first wall. That's our job over the next 12 weeks is knock down this wall. And if you watch them home renovation shows, you know they knock down the wall and they realize that the pipes are rusted and there's a leak back there. Yeah. And now it's gonna cost you another $30,000 another 2 months on that construction project. But what's the point of making this big old beautiful house and renovating it, putting all the sexy granite countertops and barn doors and all that on it if you got rusty pipes that can't deliver the water? So maybe my job with you in this hour, not just the hour, but in this 12 weeks, is just to knock down the wall and look at the pipes. We ain't even fixing
the pipes first. Just let you know.
Just to let you know, because if you don't know, you can't fix it.
Right.
So now that you have the awareness that the pipes are rusty, because therapy ain't where, like that hour session, that's not where we do the work. Mm-hmm. That's where we bring the information back and we reconstruct. What did Cat Williams say? You be trying shit, and it don't work. Then you try shit, and it don't work. And eventually we find something that does work and we pin that up. All right, let's do that. Take that out into the world and come back and tell me how it worked. And you might come back and tell me and my child's mother got into a conversation. She cut me deeply and I told her. And I asked you, how does that feel? It's like, I felt empowered. All right, let's keep that. But this other stuff didn't work for me. All right, let's keep trying stuff. Yeah. That's what the session is. The work's not done in the session. Mm-hmm. That's where the reframing is done. The just changing your philosophy and your perspective. But the actual work is done out in the world where the stuff that we worked on, you get tested on that. And then you got to react in a way that's not how you used to do things, but that you react in a way that's in a prism of health and forward thinking and maturity and evolution. So no, you're not wrong for thinking you can fix everything in 1 hour, but dump everything on the table. You know what I'm saying? Let the chopper fly. Give me all your trauma. Right. I take all that. Let me decide what's too much for me, because I can decipher things better when I have more information. Mm-hmm. I can make a better diagnosis. I can write a better prescription. I can give you better medicine to fix what ails you. And you talked about paying for therapy. It's not a lot of great ways, but it's a couple of ways. If you're working, they got this thing called the EAP program, Employee Assistance Program. Go to your employer and say, hey, my mental ain't right. I'm dealing with a lot of things. It's just not feeling good for me. They'll give you an EAP. You can go and see a therapist for 12 weeks. I've done some amazing work with people in 12 weeks. We didn't renovate the house, but we found out that the floorboards was rusted. You know what I'm saying? And we got a good number to a contractor to help us put new floorboards in. Another way is community health centers. Sometimes they have mental health resources. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's subsidized, sometimes it's free. Mm-hmm. You can walk in, you're dealing with anxiety, depression, PTSD, postpartum depression, just a number of health afflictions, mental health afflictions. They can help you through that. Sometimes group therapy is cheaper than individual therapy. And you just hit on something. You was like, man, sometimes I got to talk around a group of my peers to know I'm not the only one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes you got to process complicated shit in a group, so you can hear other perspectives and you can, keep what works for you and throw away what doesn't.
With men, especially black men, I feel like I wouldn't say group therapy might be more helpful, but I feel like if men are comfortable enough to speak about their traumas or whatever that exists inside them, I feel like if it was done around men who have things in common, like ourselves, where you probably don't know, or in a friend group with people where these things don't exist, where the discussions have never happened, I feel like that's where it's most hopeful. And I'm saying that off experience, because I spoke to a whole tier of juvenile delinquents before, you know what I'm saying? And they all stiff at first, you know what I'm saying, when you walk in, because one, a lot of their favorite rappers, they try and be cool, you know what I'm saying? And two, it's they don't know where to start. So once I'm comfortable enough to just start throwing stuff out there and talking to them and getting them comfortable, they oh yeah, I'm just like you for real, bro.
Like ducklings jumping into a pond.
I'm just like you. Yeah. So now they unload. They saying, all right, I had this going on and this, and they asking you questions because a lot of times they in disbelief with the results that they think they can or even can't get from something. You know what I'm saying? And that's the most important, because the self-doubt that we have as men, especially as black men, the self-doubt that we can't do something, you feel what I'm saying? It live in us, it live rent-free, and we don't acknowledge it. You see what I'm
And it's
saying?
empowering to know you're not the only one going through the thing you're going through.
Right.
And when I do group sessions, I'm just a facilitator.
Mm-hmm.
You all are sharing experiences with each other. You see each other every week, so there's
Right.
trust that gets built there.
Yep.
But you get to say the uncomfortable thing that you think it feel deeply, it doesn't just live in your head anymore. You gave it another place to rest that's
To
not
live in the
inside of your
universe.
mind
Right.
and body. Yeah.
This is needed. This is why we built this platform for the fellas, man. Is to give people spaces to be themselves, to share their stories, to empower each other. You know what I mean? So it's much needed. I hope you guys felt like this was a therapy session day. Because I
Man,
definitely
that
took some gems.
you helped build this platform, bro. That's you.
I
And your
appreciate
amazing
that.
team helped build this platform because men are hearing this and they seeing themselves in these words and they might not have community that has this experience or this much expression and vulnerability or this professional experience. You know, they could see themselves in ours. So that's you, bro.
Man, I
you
received
did
that. I received that, and I appreciate that, man. I can't thank you guys enough for being here and joining us, man. This means a lot. All you guys are doing great things in the culture, and I know the people that's gonna watch this is gonna touch them, and this is gonna help them get through their day, man. You know, so can't thank you guys enough for being here for the fellas.
Thank
It's
you,
been an
brother.
honor, man. Absolutely, absolutely,
Same,
man.
man.
For anybody watching, know that we're swinging with you every day. It's a constant battle in what we're dealing with. But here for the fellas, we're gonna continue to have conversations that push each other and push forward and promote healing.
G Herbo here, and I want to give advice to anybody out there who's battling or struggling with depression, anxiety. It's never easy. You always gotta have a fight in you, man. That's what I would say. Fight back. You know, believe that there is something out there greater for you. You know what I'm saying? And there's always light at the end of the tunnel. You know, you just gotta believe that you are stronger than your situation, you know, and you are stronger than whatever it is that you're going through. And, you know, you will get through it. Not you can, you will get through it. Stay focused, stay determined, stay motivated. Find something that inspires you to get up and just push through every day, you know, and take it one day at a time. As long as you believe, there is nothing that, you know, you can't do. I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
What's up, y'all? I'm Kier Gaines. I'm your favorite therapist, and I want to give a little bit of advice to somebody who may be dealing with depression, not knowing how to manage that, and who may be seeking help. I think it's powerful to be able to move along your journey by yourself, to be able to take all the obstacles you face and somehow move past them with your self-respect and dignity still intact. That takes a certain level of strength. But if you are in a place where you feel like you may need some help and you may be reluctant to take that next step, one thing that I want you to know is that you're not supposed to do everything by yourself. And the inability to do everything by yourself doesn't mean that you're weak. It doesn't mean that you're incapable. It doesn't mean that you're inept. It means that you're human. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with getting some assistance and touching a part of your mind, touching a part of your emotional space, and touching a part of your spirit that you can't quite reach just solo. Everybody gets help. The best basketball players on earth, they have coaches, they have trainers. Everybody has advisors when they reach a certain level, and you're at that level now. So reach out, get the help, and put yourself, your mindset in a place to not only receive the help that you get, but to be able to apply it. And if you ever feel like you can't do it, you still being here, you even trying is evidence that you can.
I'm Brian McIntosh, the creator and host of For the Fellas, and advice I would give to somebody that's struggling with seeking help is just knowing that you're not alone. I think a lot of times in this culture, we feel like people won't understand or they won't think it's cool. And one of the reasons we built this platform is to kind of put to rest that narrative. You're getting to see black men from all different walks of life and spaces come together, share their vulnerability and share their truth. And I think that's essential for just knowing that you're not alone. Like, we're all swinging in this battle on this thing called life. This shit get hard, man. But we're gonna keep fighting every day. So my advice again would just be, take a step forward to make yourself happy, to make your loved ones happy, and do the right thing for what you need for yourself.
I'm in this interview. I'm gonna call you back, man.
Hey.
I gotta call you. I'm on camera. I'm gonna call you back. I got you. Love you. I gotta go. Crazy.
Yo, that's fire.
Full conversation. I'm not doing that.
Hey, I'd have been like, what up, mama? Oh, fact. That's dope.
Funny,
That's dope.
man.
Your aunt just asked about. Like, my
They be trying to talk, but I gotta go.
Like, mama's always playing. Cool.
It's cool though.
Hunter, let me know when you good to go. Get this thing popping again. Nah, that's hilarious. My mom be the same way, bro.
So if I don't pick it up, she gonna blow my phone up.
She dropped me off at the airport to come here, and she was hugging me like she wasn't gonna see me again. I'm like, Mom, I'm coming right back in a week. Why you acting like I ain't gonna come back?
Oh, that's your mama baby, dog. How much hair you got on your face? You always gonna be your mama's baby.
That's a fact.